In science, metaphorically, there are no real ends, just forks in the road that help you understand that you need to think further in another direction, approach a problem differently, and sometimes move a frame of thought to another idea. And every once in a while, that change in thought brings about a rare confluence where science, innovative thinking, and years of hard work brings about a solution that can have tremendous impact on society. I think that magical space is something that we all seek, and something that I was in search of for a long time. So I am Chandrasekhar Nair. I'm a chemical engineer by training with a lot of exposure to biology over the period of my career. And what I typically work on is in the area of infectious disease diagnostics. Although diagnostic technologies have really improved over the years, access to diagnostics has not. So what we do is work in the area of decentralizing and democratizing diagnostics by making point-of-care technologies that are accessible even in the most remote areas. One of the platforms that we have developed today is a platform called Truenat. And everybody knows about PCR today. I think the COVID waves have taught us about PCR. And this is a technique that is very well established in the laboratory. What it does is takes a very specific segment of the building blocks, the DNA or the RNA, and it amplifies that very, very specifically into billions of copies. Every time a copy is produced, we also produce a photon of light, and that is the light that we measure in a real-time PCR. Hence, you're able to get a very quantitative idea of what was your starting pathogen load in your biological sample. And therefore, you can pick infections very early on, right at the onset of infections. But if you remember, pre-COVID, nobody knew about PCR. PCR was a laboratory technique. It required very good laboratory infrastructure. That was not something that could be very easily replicated across multiple places, isn't it? Hence, we wanted to take PCR to a point of care, to a field situation. This required us to do multiple things. First of all, we had to make it really simple so that it can be run by technicians without very elaborate training. We had to get rid of all the infrastructure requirements. So we have a battery operated platform today, but PCR is typically very power hungry. So to take a power hungry technology and to make it battery operated requires a lot of engineering there. Again, the reagents that are used in PCR are typically not stable at room temperatures. In fact, they require very cold storage, sometimes even at temperatures of -80 for long-term storage. We had to make them room temperature stable. In a place like India, where room temperatures can vary a lot, you can have even 40 degrees centigrade as your room temperature. So there again, the biology was very important, and how do you stabilize all of these biological reagents was very important. So we had to work across multiple aspects of the technology to make it something that could be deployed in the field. One critical part of deploying in the field is support. When you have devices centrally available, it's easy to access them, easy to support them. So these devices had to be rugged. At the same time, it had to be something that could be monitored. And for that, we leverage mobile technology, which is very widely prevalent, even in resource-limited settings. So broadly, that is what we've done. We have taken technology that was typically a laboratory technology that produced fantastic results, maintained the same level of integrity of those results, but made them a point-of-care technology. Once you have something that works, how do you translate that? How do you transition that to something that will have impact in the market? How is this scaled? How is this manufactured in a place where manufacturing excellence is not a part of our culture as yet when it comes to precision manufacturing? So all of these are aspects that we've had to look at even more than the technological aspects. And there again, we've been very lucky that we were able to work with the right people. The other challenge is, of course, understanding the regulatory ecosystem, understanding what the regulator wants to see and developing data accordingly. There's a lot of data generation that is to be done, a lot of validation that is required, both at an analytical level as well as a clinical level. So we've been working on Truenat for very many years, for decades. And this platform was very extensively tested by the Indian Council of Medical Research, initially for H1N1, then subsequently for TB. Similarly, FIND, along with the Indian Council of Medical Research, worked towards generating evidence that informed WHO's decision on approval for TB detection at point of care using our platform. The national program for TB elimination had given us an order for 1,500 plus devices and 6 million tests. And we had geared up actually to supply this. That was the time when COVID really hit us. Because this is a platform technology, we were able to develop the COVID test on the platform fairly quickly. And we had got this validated by ICMR, and then we were ready to roll. What it really did was to provide us as a country to have access to molecular diagnostics on demand at any place that you needed it. And these platforms were initially deployed for COVID detection. Of course, they have now come back to the TB program. But really speaking, that at that point in time, when we really required distributed testing, Truenat was able to deliver. I think over the last decade, India has seen a tremendous jump in the amount of innovative technologies that are being supported. This was not the case when we started. And I think this is brilliant as far as India is concerned. The early support that is available now, companies that have been successful in taking their products to market, all of those are paths that allow people to believe that innovation, the journey in innovation can lead to success and can end up with high societal impact. My one word for my friends, my young friends in this business is that stay the course. I think it is going to be difficult. Nothing is that easy, and if it is easy, it would have already been solved. So I believe that if you stay the course, we are all trained very extensively. We know the problems better than anybody else, and therefore we can solve our problems better than anybody else. I have a lot of hope. When I won the Infosys Prize, I was actually taken aback. I did not expect to win this prize at all. So when that prize was announced, you can see the complete shock and surprise on my face if you look at those videos. I think it's a very important honor for somebody like me from the industry to win the Infosys Prize, because I think it will motivate us as a group, as a set of individuals, to solve societal problems holistically. Of course, all of this is built on scientific merit, and many of the other laureates who won the Infosys Prize have solved very important aspects in their own discipline. But when solutioning a problem actually wins the prize, it gives us a lot more energy. I think all of us a lot more energy to work towards these kind of solutions that have high societal impact.